great Odin's raven.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
This is ridiculous. Okay, I'll go.
Hello and welcome to the FilmPulse.net podcast, episode number 40. My name is Adam. Today I'm joined by Kevin. How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing all right.
Doing all right. Day after your birthday, we're recording.
That's right.
How was your birthday?
Your birthday was not too bad. Good day. Good day.
Excellent. Well, this week we'll be reviewing Skyfall. We'll also be highlighting some Amazon Blu-ray deals. We'll be making our weekly movie predictions. And finally, we'll be going over this week's DVD and Blu-ray releases. First, let's kick things off with some of what we've been watching. Kevin, what have you been watching?
Oh, I started off with Winter Light, which
Light is the
Ingmar
Bergman, right?
The Bergman movie.
Bergman.
And I did not know that this was part of a trilogy, and it's the second one.
Nice.
So I started in the middle, but very, very simplistic. It's essentially just like follows a pastor who's having like a crisis of faith, and then one of the parishioners is suicidal, and the pastor doesn't really help him out too much. You know, he comes to him with his crisis of faith, once helped out, and pastor doesn't offer much. And there's not much going on. It's very talk heavy, dialogue driven. Not a lot of great shots or anything, but a lot of Bergman movies are like that. But it's like the equivalent of reading philosophy. Is how watching a Bergman is. And like, I'm never in the mood for a Bergman because they're just so dense and usually dark. But every time I do watch them, they never disappoint. They're always good. And this, exactly the same. Great movie. But man, it's tough to watch these. It's really tough to be in the mood, to be like, hey, I'm going to watch a Bergman. You just sort of have to force yourself to do it. It's like homework almost.
There are a number of movies that I've done that with, where I'm like, I got to do it.
Just got to do it. Amazing performances too. Great acting from everyone. And then I went on to watch The Hunter, the Iranian The Hunter. Finally got to see this damn movie. Directed by Rafi Pitts, who we talked about. He was in Argo, which made me think of something. And I don't know, like, if he directs a lot of his movies in Iran, but I'm wondering how that's going to work out for him now. To be in Argo, be in that movie where, Iran isn't painted too nicely. And he's in that film. I wonder if he's going to have trouble now shooting or making movies in Iran.
I don't know. I'm sure he thought about that.
I think so. Because this movie was filmed in Iran and Germany, it looks like.
How was it?
It was pretty good. It was slow burn, not much dialogue at all. Just beautiful camera work. And it was good. I can see it's one of those movies that's sort of tough to... I don't know if you would like it. So I'm not sure if I would suggest watching it. But it had like this Kurosaki feel to it. The guy that did La Havre. It had that sort of feel to it, where it felt like an old movie.
Yeah.
But it was good.
I mean,
very good.
The premise sounds interesting to me.
Yeah, and just like randomly kills 2 police officers with like a hunting rifle. And then they catch on to him, find him. There's like a chase scene, like through the foggy back roads of like the woods and stuff, which is pretty cool. And then, he wrecks his car and he's got to run into the woods, and then they capture him. And then it sort of plot twists from there. And then I didn't watch that much this week.
No, I didn't either.
I'm just realizing. Hell, I forgot I watched The Hunter. But I just watched the comedy.
Oh.
The Laugh Riot by Rick Alverson. starring Tim Heidecker and Eric Wareheim.
Now, we talked about this a little bit on the show last week, and we talked about it quite a bit off the air. How did it turn out for you?
I thought it was pretty good. Extremely depressing.
Yeah.
I thought it was extremely depressing.
Very dark.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also very depressing because we know a lot of these people.
Yep.
We know tons. Like, yay, this is our generation.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. It's just sad.
Yeah, so the comedy is currently playing on demand, and you can see that in theaters in limited release this weekend. I think you were going to be working on a review for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll have a review up on the site for that at some point. And I thought that it was very interesting. I mean, there's not a real big plot in this movie.
No.
It really, you don't really get an idea of what's happening until towards the end. Then it kind of falls into place. But it's called the comedy, but it is not funny. Please don't go into it thinking that it's going to be
Hilarious.
the Tim and Eric movie or something. Now, Tim and Eric are in it. I mean, Tim Heidecker's the main character, and Eric plays one of his friends. But I don't know. There are funny moments, but
Yeah, there's some funny moments.
usually it's the kind of comedy where you're just like, oh my, it's like uncomfortable comedy where
Extremely uncomfortable.
Tim Heidecker plays such an asshole that you're just like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah. And you're wondering, like, why hasn't anyone punched him in the face yet?
Yeah.
Just punch him in the face.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and there's a specific scene near the end of the film that deeply disturbed me.
Yes. Are you talking about the scene at the end in the boat?
Yep.
Yeah.
Very disturbing.
Yeah, I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I would still recommend checking out the movie. It's kind of about the aimlessness of this generation and how these people just have no direction, and it's very interesting. I was talking to you about it yesterday off the air. One of the friends of Tim Heidecker in the movie is played by the lead singer of LCD Sound System. And for those of you that have seen his documentary, Shut Up and Play the Hits, I felt like there was some kind of correlation between how he was feeling after leaving LCD Sound System and the message of this movie, where he just kind of didn't really know what to do or where to go from here. I thought that was interesting.
No. Yeah, this is just aimless. He doesn't know what to do. He has no idea what to do. And he's one of those guys that tries to be funny at all times. Just always riffing.
Yeah, everything's a joke.
Yeah, he never takes anything seriously. Mocking everything, essentially. But
And
I thought it was a good performance from Tim Heidecker.
Oh yeah, I think that I'm really hoping that this will open some doors for him. I would like to see him expand and do some other stuff.
Oh, the one thing that I did learn from the comedy is the disintegration loops by William Basinski. You can put that music to anything, and it just makes it meaningful. Makes it powerful. It's the music that was playing when they were playing like stickball, and they're riding their bikes around.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put that music to anything, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
Pop that up on YouTube, and just make it. I want to get like speakers in my house and just have that music play all day.
All throughout your house?
Yeah, and then I'll feel like I have purpose.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Feel good. Feel good about myself. And that was it. Besides Skyfall.
Okay. I had a very light week too. I'm in the middle of getting ready to move, and I saw Capturing the Friedmans. This is a documentary from 2003 I caught this on Snag Films. I never saw this. Apparently it was a pretty big documentary when it came out, but I never got a chance to see it. So it's about this upper middle class family who the father ends up getting arrested for child pornography and then subsequently accused of molesting and sodomizing students of his.
Jeez.
And the interesting thing was, I guess right around when this was all happening, they had 3 sons, and one of the sons got a video camera, and he videotaped everything, like everything that was happening. So they have this whole ordeal, like just tons of footage. So the filmmakers just put that in and just spliced in interviews with family members and that type of thing and kind of put this movie together. And it was really interesting because you never really know. You never really know if he did it. There was a lot of people that were like saying that there's no way he did it, there's no evidence, all this stuff. And then you have, evidence to the contrary too. So it was really interesting. You never really find out if he did it or not.
No.
But it gets very, it just gets crazy. Like one of the sons was then accused of it and he ended up going to jail.
Jeez.
Yeah. Very, very interesting documentary. It was put together very nicely, looked good. And I would recommend checking it out. You can watch it for free on Snag Films. So check that out. I saw Citadel. This is the...
How was this?
I liked it. It wasn't anything spectacular.
No.
But it had feral children in it, so...
Yes!
It had a lot of feral children. So
feral children.
I think the most interesting thing about this movie is the fact that the writer and director of the film actually went through a similar situation in his real life, and that's what made him write this movie, where I think he was attacked out on the street somewhere, and as a result he became extremely agoraphobic and couldn't leave his apartment.
Never do that.
But basically this movie's about this couple who the girlfriend, or maybe it's his wife, I don't know if they ever specified, but she's pregnant, she gets attacked, she dies, the baby survives, and it's about the guy who becomes extremely agoraphobic after this event, and his apartment building becomes overrun by feral children, and he has to try to get out with his baby and protect his baby.
So it's like really a movie that connects with everyone, because I think we've all gone through that.
I mean,
apartment building being run over by feral children.
Well, it's, the children, the feral children are symbolic of fear, and there is a lot of straight up horror in this movie, but there's a lot of psychological things that he has to work through in the movie too.
Feral children are definitely on my list of things that I fear.
Yeah, I mean,
is it on yours?
Yes, and there's the thing about this movie is you got to kind of take everything with a grain of salt, almost like Lovely Molly, but with this movie, there's so many things that you have to just try to disconnect yourself from. Like, for instance, all the feral children wear hoodies with their hoodies up, and it's like it makes you wonder, like, what do they do? Is there like one leader of these feral children that goes to the store and buys hoodies for the new recruits, or do they all just have the same dirty white hoodies? It's like, where do these hoodies come from? Where do they get them? Because it's like an army of feral children. There's so many of them.
And they all have hoodies?
Yeah.
Do they have like a cool like crest or anything? Like a logo?
No, they're just dirty white hoodies.
Dirty white hoodies.
I mean, they're extremely creepy looking. They kind of look like zombies. but it has kind of a zombie movie feel to it. But it's a little different. It's a little different because apparently the feral children can only see fear or something. Like, they don't see normally. They can only see fear. So if, like, you're not scared, they won't come after you because they can't see you.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff in it where you just kind of have to go with it, or else you'll be picking apart everything in the movie.
So, see, to me, I would just get extremely drunk, and then you wouldn't be, scared of them or anything, and then just go around beating the shit out of them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them do get beaten. So
do they? Like a beating of feral children?
Yeah, they do get beaten. There's a couple of them get beaten with a crowbar.
Lord have mercy. We should have like a feral children film fest
Yes,
where we just watch all feral children movies.
I'm down. I'm down for that.
That is the plan for next October.
And then the only other one I saw was Fat Kid Rules the World.
Oh.
Yeah, I got to see this. This was not nearly as good as I had hoped.
Really?
I was disappointed. I was disappointed. I thought that it was going to be a really interesting premise, but it just kind of turned out to be your typical, like, almost after-school special type movie where, there's this fat kid and he's overcoming, people making fun of him and blah, 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 and him feeling like he's worthless, and, his buddy, this kid saves his life. He's going to kill himself. This kid saves his life, but this kid is a drug addict, and they have to, like, work through some shit, and it wasn't bad, but I just didn't take anything away from it.
Yeah, it sounds like you've seen this movie before.
Right. And I a lot of it's about, like, this kid discovers, like, the whole punk rock scene and gets into it and stuff and realizes that, this is a really good way for him to express himself and all that. But, I was really into punk rock when I was growing up too, and the music in this movie is not very good, and that I think kind of brings it down a little bit, is that I thought the music sucked.
Yeah, the music is terrible.
Yeah. But like I said, it wasn't horrible or anything. It was maybe worth a rental or something. And that's all I saw other than Skyfall.
Oh, we each saw 4 movies.
Yeah. Yeah, light week. Hopefully I'll have more next week.
Oh, shit. I saw Safety Not Guaranteed.
Oh, yeah, you did.
What the what the hell? I haven't updated Letterboxd in a couple of days. That's why I sort of forget these things. That's ridiculous. That movie was awesome.
Okay, so you did like Safety Not Guaranteed.
I did like it. It was like, to me, it's like a rom-com that you can actually enjoy.
Yeah, it's exactly what I said about Your Sister's Sister. You put Duplass in there.
Yeah, this is a Duplass movie.
You put Duplass in there, and
he fucking takes over.
Yeah,
he's like the best kind of, like, he's like a cancer, but a good cancer.
All you gotta next Katherine Heigl movie. Throwing it out there. Next Katherine Heigl movie that comes out. Throw Duplass in there.
Just throw him in.
Everybody wins.
Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
So much better. Or just have Duplass dress up as Katherine Heigl.
Yeah, there you go.
And it'll be better. It'll be better than any Katherine Heigl movie ever.
Now, I really, really liked Safety Not Guaranteed. That, for a while there, that was one of my top movies of the year.
Yeah, it was definitely check that one out. I enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
And that's...
My wife fell asleep like 25 minutes in.
Nice.
She falls asleep in every movie.
That sucks. Sounds like my dad. Safety Not Guaranteed is available on DVD and Blu-ray right now, so give that a rent.
Definitely. It is I would have to say it is one of my favorite films of the year. It's just unfortunate that it took me this long to see it.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's out now, so let's talk about some Amazon Blu-ray deals. To get these incredible deals, just visit our site at filmpulse.net and either click on the Amazon banner, shop as you would normally, or simply click the provided links in the show notes. First up, we have a little bit of a theme today,
ooh,
and I want you to tell me which one doesn't fit.
okay. I like
First,
these games.
first up, we have National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This is $9.99 on Blu-ray.
Ooh,
Elf with Will Ferrell, $9.49.
okay.
Christmas Story, $9.49. This is I think that's the anniversary edition or something. Blu-ray of A Christmas Story, and
Of course it is.
and
Of course.
There Will Be Blood for $7.88.
Okay. Okay. Which one does not fit? I don't know. They all seem Christmassy to me.
Yeah. Well,
Because blood's red, so that makes me think of Christmas.
there you go. There you go.
So they all fit.
Yeah, I guess they could all fit. So check those out if you need to get your holiday movie collection going.
There Will Be Blood, the new Christmas classic.
If you need to get your holiday collection going, There Will Be Blood is $7.88, people.
God.
Okay. Let's just jump right into this review of Skyfall. This is the
Skyfall.
This is the latest Bond film. This is the 23rd Bond film, I believe. It's directed by Sam Mendes. Here's the synopsis. Bond's loyalty to M is tested as her past comes back to haunt her. As MI6 comes under attack, 007 must track down and destroy the threat, no matter how personal the cost. I'm not feeling that synopsis at all. But Skyfall stars Daniel Craig, Judi Dench, Javier Bardem, Ralph Fiennes, Naomi Harris, Albert Finney's in it. There's a bunch of great talents in this movie.
Now, there's a correlation from the last show that we did to this show. And that is the same guy that wrote Skyfall wrote Johnny English Reborn.
One of the writers.
One of.
Yeah. Well.
One of the many. But it is weird to just see that, see all these Bond movies and then right in between Johnny English and Johnny English Reborn.
It is kind of weird, but I don't know. I don't know if that's detrimental to the Bond films or a compliment to Johnny English. I'd say it's probably a compliment to Johnny English.
Yeah.
But my review for this is up on the site, so we'll start with you, Kevin. Now, this is your first Bond movie, right?
Yes.
And what did you think of Skyfall?
Best Bond movie ever.
Well,
best.
It is.
I've ever seen. It's the best I've ever seen. Hands down, the greatest Bond film.
Now see, I've seen many Bond films, and I can say that I think it is the best Bond movie.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I've never seen a Bond film, which I still can't believe.
Well, the thing,
I've seen parts of them, but I haven't seen an entire one.
Well, the thing is, now you don't have to go back and watch any of them because now you know that none of them are going to be as good as this one.
Yeah. So this is where it starts. I tried to get, I think you told me, was it Casino Royale?
Yeah.
Right? That you told me to see that. I tried to get that from Netflix, and of course, apparently everyone else had the same idea.
I'm sure, yeah.
So I was unable to get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's Quantum of Solace, which was the second one in the Daniel Craig trilogy here. That one was, I feel, completely unnecessary to see, but Casino Royale was kind of the setup. That was the movie with when Bond first became an agent and stuff like that. So it kind of introduced these characters. But my suspicion is that even though you've never seen a Bond film, you probably still picked up on all the references and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I knew there was parts, when they would show something that I was like, oh, that was probably in older ones. When they like get out the antique car. I
Right.
was like, ah, that was probably in old Bond
Yeah,
movies. Cool
exactly.
reference. I don't completely get it, but I understand. I understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I found there were parts where I was like, man, why do they keep playing the music? And then, I sort of forgot that I was like, oh yeah, that's their shtick. They
Yeah.
always play the Bond music.
Well, the weird now the thing is, in this one they played the classic style music. In a lot of the other ones they don't play the just the normal regular score. They mix it up a lot in the other ones.
Yeah, okay.
So
I just thought they always played the Bond music.
it always makes an appearance in some form. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I don't remember hearing it in Quantum of Solace at all. So, what'd you think of Skyfall?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was awesome. It was really, really good. Um, but I am sort of like you said, I don't have to watch anymore because if this is the best one, which is what I've been hearing from a lot of people, so I guess I'm just gonna start my Bond film watching career right now and just move on from there and not watch any of the old ones.
I don't think you really have to. Now, I'm not a huge Bond fan, but I've seen probably, oh, I don't know. Out of 22, I've probably seen like 6 or 8. So I have a good idea of what makes a Bond movie, and I thought the interesting thing about this was that Sam Mendes was somehow able to put together this classic feeling Bond movie, but make it modern.
Yeah, I was sort of struck by that too, even though I don't know if I can actually say this because I haven't seen the other ones. But to me, it seemed really like a classic Bond, like back to the roots. And but it wasn't like over the top nostalgic, where they just kept hitting you with
Right, exactly.
just hammered it over your head, like it's been 50 years of Bond.
And I like how a lot of the things that everybody looks for in a Bond movie, like the shaken not stirred thing. How in this movie they didn't bother with that line. They just showed the bartender shaking the martini, and he was just
Yeah.
like perfect. Like just it's just little subtle things like that they put in there that I thought really worked well. Like the conversation between Q and Bond when he got the gun and the old timey looking radio transmitter.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was all great.
Yeah, I enjoyed that it wasn't, it had a realistic feel to it. It wasn't, ridiculous gadgets and
Yeah, and
all this stuff that you've come to expect
yeah,
from
and
the Bond movies.
a lot of the action seemed to be at least somewhat grounded in reality. And one of the things that I like the most is that I don't know if you noticed, but there was almost no CG in the movie at all. They used almost all practical effects, and I thought that was awesome, with the exception of the Komodo dragon scene.
I was happy that I got to see a Komodo dragon eat
Eat
someone.
someone, yeah,
I wasn't. Not often do you get to go to the movies and see a Komodo dragon eat someone.
yeah. It was pretty
That's
awesome.
always a pleasant surprise.
It was awesome.
More films could have that, and I'd be happier. I have to say.
I thought,
But I loved the entire chase scene. The opening.
oh yeah, it was awesome.
That was insane. Driving on the rooftops.
Yep.
It's just pure insanity. Now that's how you start a movie.
Yeah. Yep. That was awesome. What'd you think of the intro credits?
I loved the beginning of it when where he drops into the water and he's going down, and then the big hand grabs him by the foot, and the holes open up at the bottom of the ocean floor or whatever they were in. That was really cool, but it went on a bit too long.
Well, that's the thing.
Which I know. I know that's their thing. He play the song and everything.
Yeah, almost every Bond movie, and I think every Bond movie has an extremely long intro that plays the entire theme of that movie.
And I do have to say, Adele's song has been stuck in my head for it was stuck for like 4 to 5 days before I went to see the movie. And it's been stuck in my head since I saw it yesterday and all of today.
Oh, it was a good choice for her because when you go back and look at some of the other popular Bond theme songs, her voice really fits with the style. I think it was a good choice for her, and I like the intro. I thought it was good. Like you said, it was a little bit long, but I expected that.
Yeah. I expected it too, but I'm still not entirely too happy about it.
Yeah.
It's a minor quibble. Minor quibble.
It is a quibble. What do you think about performances? Obviously, Javier Bardem
is, my God. Well, I love how it seems like there's a running thing in Hollywood where they're like, all right, if we cast Bardem as a villain, we have to give him terrible hair.
Yeah.
Because a precedent has been set with No Country for Old Men, so we just got to keep trying to top that. But man, that guy was just creepy. And he plays him brilliantly.
As far as Bond villains go, first of all, I was really glad to see that they bring like the crazy supervillain type back into the Bond series, because older Bond movies always had some kind of crazy villain with some kind of physical ailment or something weird about him, and then they kind of pulled away from that, and I was glad to see how Javier Bardem played this absolutely insane character.
Yeah, I mean, he plays him brilliantly. The scene where you meet him, the exchange between him and Bond, damn, I didn't want that scene to end.
Yeah, it was great. I thought he was definitely the standout. Only because Daniel Craig was great, but I mean he's Bond, you know. He's not. We've seen it before, and I don't mean to like belittle his role in the movie or anything, but this one also featured a lot more Judi Dench in it, as she became kind of a major player in the film's plot, and I thought she was fantastic. I loved her in it.
Yeah, I don't think Judi Dench ever does a bad job.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, of course not.
Like she's so professional that like you don't even comment on it because it's just like a default performance from her.
Yeah. And it was great to see her kind of in an action role too, you know, like she was in some shootouts, some big things.
Oh, she got her hands dirty. She was in the shit.
Yeah.
She was in it.
And I think I want to talk about that in a little bit more detail when we get into spoilers.
Well, my favorite thing then, when I enjoyed the film from start to finish, but there was a certain point where, you know, a new, almost a new chapter started in the film, and everything from that point was just amazing, and that's when they got to Skyfall.
Right, exactly.
Right when that started, I was like, "Oh shit, this is amazing."
Yep, that's so funny that you said that, because that was the exact point for me as well, where I was just like, "Wow, okay." It's like this is getting really good.
Yeah, and it almost turned into, I mean, you had the help of this Scotland landscape, but like as soon as they showed that shot of him standing there and looking out. And I'm just thinking like, oh, this is like turning into like an art house movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be like an art house action Bond film. This is awesome.
And that was the other thing. The thing I think that really, it just pushed it above all other Bond movies was Sam Mendes, having him direct this. And it has such a unique visual look to it. Like, if I remember correctly, all the other Bond movies just kind of look typical. They kind of look generic. But this movie was so visually pleasing. Like the scene in China, I think they were in Shanghai.
Oh, the assassination scene?
Yes.
Yeah, that scene was amazing.
Like everything was the use of the shadows and the neon and like just that whole scene. I was just like, wow, that looks amazing. And then the scene when they're on the boat with all the candles when they were going to that party.
Yes.
I mean, this movie looks awesome. Yeah, and it there's so many different landscapes too. So you have all these mixed visual styles. You have like real bright, colorful stuff, and then you have this kind of washed out, murky looking, scenes on the Scottish countryside. It was just a great looking movie.
Yes, beautiful.
Everything complemented each other. Everything else in this movie, like the writing was great. The dialogue, I mean, they incorporated enough humor to make it fun.
Yes. Yeah, there was a nice balance of everything. Now, I just noticed, because I wanted to see who the cinematographer was, which it is Roger Deakins, who's a great cinematographer. He did, A Serious Man, Revolutionary Road, No Country for Old Men, The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. I mean, so many movies that are just beautiful to look at. So to get him to do Skyfall it's great. I love that. I love how that's sort of taken on, where we get big time, action movies and stuff, but they're actually done by good directors.
Oh yeah.
And good cinematographers.
Yeah, and that was the thing, like getting back to the action style of this movie compared with Casino Royale. And I don't have anything against Casino Royale. I loved it when it came out. But it was like when they made Casino Royale, they were like, okay, we're going to reboot Bond for a new generation. We're going to make it new. And Casino Royale was much more visceral. It was almost like a Bourne movie where it was really fast paced and there was a lot of crazy, like there's a lot of parkour in it and stuff. And
parkour?
Yeah. And like real just kind of visceral fight scenes and stuff. And they really toned that back with Skyfall and had it more, there was like more shootouts and things like that. But I felt like all the fight scenes were just so nicely shot. Like the scene that's sticking out to me is the assassination scene when they're in that building and how the entire fight is just like done in shadow. It looks so awesome. It's just it's a badass movie, and it takes everything about Bond and puts it out there in a completely non-cliched way. Like at this point in the 23rd movie, you would think that we'd be getting tired of some of this stuff, but how Sam Mendes was somehow able to reinvent it while still sticking with the original source material. He just did a fantastic job. It's just an awesome movie.
Yeah, I want to see it again already.
Yeah, yes. This is definitely
I wish I could see it right now.
Yeah, this is definitely one that I do want to see again, and I'm excited to see it when it comes out on Blu-ray.
Because we're talking about it, and now I just want to watch the damn thing again.
I know. Well,
now I'm getting bummed out because I don't get to see Skyfall.
Let's go into a spoiler section, because there are a couple things that I wanted to talk about that happened later on in the movie. So this is a spoiler section. If you haven't seen Skyfall yet, just fast forward. The time codes will be in the show notes, so you can skip over this. All right, so we're in a spoiler section now. The big twist in this movie was that M died, which is really crazy for people that have seen Bond films.
Maybe.
Oh, you don't think she died?
Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea.
No, I think that the way that they were setting it up was that
Ralph Fiennes is the new M.
Yeah, that Judi Dench died, and then Ralph Fiennes takes over, and then Moneypenny is, and I knew that she was going to be Moneypenny the whole time. I had a strong feeling.
I don't know who is Moneypenny.
Moneypenny is like sort of this Bond's main contact person that kind of keeps him in line and tells him what to do and where to find things. Okay. And there's always like been a sexual tension between the two of them.
Gotcha.
So I think that's cool. I mean, that's Naomi Harris, who was in 28 Days Later. Big fan. So how gross was it when Javier Bardem pulled his jaw out?
When he's going through his whole spiel and he's saying that he ate the cyanide capsule and everything and it didn't kill him, I'm like, yeah, but that would really fuck you up.
Yeah, and he takes...
Like, I can understand that you survived it, but there's no way that you look the way you look. And then he takes it out and I was like, yep, that's probably what it... Okay.
It was so gross.
It's almost as if the movie was in my head and was like, oh yeah, okay, well, we'll make it realistic for you, asshole. And they takes out his face and I'm like, Oh,
gotcha. So horrible looking. How his eye was all droopy.
Yeah. It's just like a whole face just sunk and I'm like, put your face back in. Please put your face back in.
Now, I don't know if this is technically a spoiler. We'll just talk about it in this, but I felt like there were some very serious themes of aging in this movie. Did you pick up on that?
Yes.
Like there was constant references to getting older and like how,
losing a step and
like
not being the physical athletic man that he used to be.
Yeah, and I felt like that was almost self-referential to the Bond series in general. How, this movie's 50 years old, and the book came out like 60 years ago, the first one. So I think that it was all kind of a statement on, hey, we're getting older, but maybe we can still hang in there.
Well, it was also nice too, the way, which is a good point that you bring up, the self-referentialism of the movie. It goes back to the roots. It goes back to Scotland. It goes back to Skyfall.
Yeah.
And instead of using, his athleticism and everything, he uses his intelligence, and sets up all these traps and, things like that. So, which is sort of a self-reference to bringing in Mendes to do it.
Yep.
Bringing in an intelligent filmmaker instead of just, your typical action movie director.
Yeah.
Just bringing a little bit extra to the table.
Yeah.
Instead of just, these fight scenes are so cool.
Yeah, I thought all that was great. And I'm glad you brought up the scene at Skyfall, because that was so awesome how, M was making those light bomb things.
Like little shrapnel bags.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It was like arts and crafts, making shrapnel bags.
It was like a grandmother doing arts and crafts time, but making things that will kill you.
Now, see, I'm a big sucker.
Aim you.
I'm a big sucker for those types of scenes in movies where.
Yes.
It's almost like the Home Alone type setup where you have all these traps. And I for some reason, I just love that, where it has the montage of them putting things together and setting things up, and then having the bad guys spring all those traps. And then you can actually see what happens, as a
because
result.
when she was making those bags, I'm like, that's a really, I like that idea. I'm like, I wonder what she's going to do with them. And then when they showed them that they're back in the chandeliers, it's like, oh shit, that's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah. And it was very awesome.
But the main thing that I loved about Skyfall, the Skyfall scene at the end, is with the house burning down and them, like walking through the fields, just the lighting and the shadows, the way that it was shot, it looked absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yep.
And that's the thing, just bringing that little bit extra that, you can open up your whole, your projected audience.
Yeah. And again, I will say that I respect this movie so much more for not going crazy CG route with the explosions, like that the scene with the train car when it falls through the hole and everything. Like that was all done
Yes.
with models, which I love. I love that.
Yeah, that was a crazy ass scene too.
Yeah.
That's the only one slight drawback for me, and not to take anything away from Bardem's performance or anything, but I'm worried that so many people are going to base their villains off of the Joker.
Yeah,
Heath Ledger's performance,
yeah.
where everyone's sort of going that route.
You know what? I was feeling that vibe. But
So,
again, he was pretty much in line with old style Bond villains. Like you have there's like the scene with the Komodo dragons where, there's the only thing that they didn't do is set up some sort of elaborate trap and leave Bond there so he could escape.
Leave him alone.
Yeah. That was like the only thing that they didn't do in this movie, which I kind of wish they would have done.
There wasn't really, and again, I haven't seen any of the other ones, so I don't know how they usually do this, but there didn't seem to really be like a Bond girl. Or am I wrong there?
No, there was, there was, what's her name?
There was that girl, but she seemed like she was, it wasn't, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen other ones. I thought that they were more like a part of the storyline.
They are sometimes not, but
she just seemed like she popped up.
That Berenice, I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
Marlowe? Bernice Marlowe?
Maybe. But anyway, yeah, she was clearly the Bond girl. Usually her role is pretty typical of a Bond girl where they meet up, she guides him in some way, they bang, she'll either die or leave.
They bang.
That's pretty much it. Now, what'd you think of the copious amounts of Heineken product placement?
I'm blind because I don't remember seeing any Heineken whatsoever. I don't remember seeing anything. The only thing that I did notice was the McClellan's bottle, which I went to the liquor store afterwards, so I got McClellan's.
Nice.
So that did work. So good job, McClellan's, for putting your product in that movie, because I did buy some.
Yeah, I remember it was
it was delicious.
I remember it was a big thing when they were like, "Oh, Bond's gonna be drinking Heineken now," and in the beginning of the movie when he's in bed with that woman after he has his thing, he's drinking a bottle of Heineken, and then there's a scene when Q and the other guy are watching like the big computer screen when Bond was escorting M to Skyfall. He's drinking a bottle of Heineken. But it didn't bother me. The only reason I even noticed it was because I read beforehand that Heineken was like, sponsoring this movie or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. People drink Heinekens.
Like,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't.
Not that big of a deal.
It didn't bother me, and Bond has always been all about, product placement.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really mind product placement as long as they just do it correctly. Now, if there was a scene in the movie where Bond just like out of nowhere is like, I could really use a delicious Heineken. They are so good. That's all I want right now. I would be like, what the fuck? Come on. But him just like laying in bed drinking a Heineken, I'm like, yeah, people do that.
And it was it was actually the way that they did it too was pretty understated too. He was holding the bottle and his hand was obscuring the label too, so that made it.
It's not like other movies where they they do like a close up of what he's drinking, and you're like, well, that seems unnecessary.
I think it was Transformers 3.
It's always Transformers 3.
Oh my god, it was so bad. Like I wanted to leave. Just okay. Anything else you wanted to add before we leave the spoiler? Any spoilers you want to add?
Albert Finney's a badass. That's not really a spoiler.
No, yeah, he's awesome.
He's the best.
I was so afraid that he was gonna. I was like, he's gonna get killed.
Yeah.
I was like, he's gonna get killed, and he's awesome. But I was glad it didn't turn out that way.
Yeah. Just everything at Skyfall was amazing.
Yep,
Loved it. It could have just been that. It could have just been a short film and just showed that, and it would have been like amazing movie. It's amazing. Loved it.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get out of the spoiler section. We are back.
I have a question,
Mm-hmm.
and you might know this more than me, but what's going on with Bond now? Like, is Daniel Craig doing more of these?
I think he is. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he did sign on to do more. With Bond movies, I'm always kind of skeptical because they're so hit or miss. You know, you have great ones like this, and then you have ones that, I mean, rarely are they ever bad, but usually they're just kind of like, you know, just like forgettable.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all right.
Oh, that's how all Pierce Brosnan movies are.
Oh, what was that one?
Robinson Crusoe?
No.
What is it that's the one with the ridiculous cover? He has like long hair.
Yes. That was the one with the kind of castaway type cover.
Oh,
there was one Pierce Brosnan movie that I thought was The Matador.
I heard that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, that one was good. Plays an aging hitman. That one was pretty good. All right, anything else you want to add about Skyfall?
No, I don't think so. I'm good.
I gave it an 8 out of 10 on the site. What are you going to give it out of 10?
I would agree with that. I'll give it an 8.
8 out of 10? Awesome. Go see Skyfall. It's in theaters now. You will not be disappointed, even if you're not a Bond fan. Clearly, Kevin, this is his first Bond movie, so...
It was awesome. And, I mean, the fact that it got me to the theater in the first place. Because usually when a Bond trailer comes out or news of it comes out, I'm just like, yeah, Bond film, cool.
Oh, that reminds me. This is what I wanted to mention. One of the worst theater experiences ever.
Yes.
At this. So we sit down. First of all, one of the speakers in the theater is blown. And it sounds horrible. It was like anything that involved bass. It sounded like you were playing an 8-bit Nintendo game. It was so awful. And people were getting up. They were leaving. They were telling, the ushers and stuff. Nobody did anything about it. They were like, yeah, well, I mean, if you want a refund, we can give you a refund. And I was just like, screw it. So there was that happening on my right side. On my left side, 2 old ladies come in the theater, sit down right beside me. And... the entire movie, they're just going, oh no, oh my god, oh my god, oh no, oh no.
I love those people. It gets so immersed in it.
Like, is he dead? Oh, he's not dead. Oh my god. But that didn't really bother me that much. I found that to be funny. Sometimes I'm really bothered by that, but... for some reason, I was in a good mood yesterday, so it didn't bother me too much.
Yeah, it does depend on what type of mood you're in.
Yeah.
Because I've had times where I think that's hilarious and I love it. And then there's other times where I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
I will punch your face repeatedly.
I think it also kind of depends on the tone of the movie, too. When you have a more, like a lighter kind of movie where there's a lot of action and fun stuff happening... then
my favorite is always like when they ask questions.
Oh yeah, there were some questions.
Like a Looper. When I watched Looper, there's girl behind us asked a question. It was like 5 minutes into the film. I'm like, do you know how films work? They're not going to answer everything in the first 5 minutes. You gotta wait. You gotta be patient.
Yeah. So there you have it. Go see Skyfall, please. It's excellent. It's probably going to be one of the best movies you can see for a little while, at least, it would seem. Speaking of which, let's go over our predictions.
Oh, yeah.
You predicted 90 for Skyfall. I predicted 82. Actual 93 on Skyfall.
Damn right.
We also predicted Lincoln because I didn't realize that only came out in limited release last week. I think that it comes out wide, I don't know, next week or the week after something.
We know our movies.
Yeah, yeah.
We know them. We're all over this shit.
We'll do it anyway. You said 92. I said 85. Actual 91.
Sapfest.
Sapfest, yeah.
2012.
So next week we have Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Yeah.
What do you think on that one?
Oh my god. How do these usually do? Do the critics actually like these movies?
No.
Okay.
No, they never do. They never do very good.
Let's say 48.
48? Okay, that's probably a good one. I'm going to say 42. I don't know. Maybe that one will be... It's the last one, so maybe critics will be more lenient on it. But
I'm just waiting until, they make a Twilight movie, but, they enlist like a big-time director to do it.
Sam
Like
Mendes.
P.T. Anderson doing
P.T.
a Twilight.
Anderson. Oh, man.
P.T. Anderson signs on to reboot Twilight for a new generation.
That'd be pretty great.
I would watch it.
The only other one we have here is Anna Karenina.
Anna Karenina. Everyone has problems saying this.
Is it Karenina, or do you just say Karina?
I think it's just Karenina.
I never really knew, so I switch it up. I say it both ways.
Switch it up. It's always good to have variety.
I don't know. I actually don't know a ton about this as far as if it's supposed to be good or not, so I'm just gonna...
Tolstoy.
Well, I mean, I know the story. I don't know about this specific iteration of it.
It's Joe Wright, right? The guy that did, was that Hannah? Did he do Hannah? I think he directed that.
Oh, maybe.
That was the last movie he did. Yeah. He did Atonement.
No, I didn't see Atonement because that didn't interest me, but I was pretty into Hannah. I thought Hannah was awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed Hannah. I mean, it looks good. I like you, I'm not into the story at all. Or the time period. You know how I hate time periods.
And yet you see all of them.
I know, I do. Oh, I don't try to, you know what I mean? I don't try to have that.
Right, yeah.
I'm trying to be petty.
Yeah,
I don't try to be petty and like, I'm watching it. But there's a part of me that wants to be that way.
Are you going to see Les Miserables?
Yes. That's like my wife's favorite thing in the world, so I gotta see that. That's a musical too. For fuck's sake.
Well, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see it too because I think it looks at least visually really good.
Yeah, it looks amazing, but it's they sing.
They do sing. Now,
why do people do that? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, because we've talked about this before, how we hate musicals and whatever. I thought of a musical that not only do I love it, but it's like on my top 100 movies of all time.
Yeah, I have one too that I remembered after going on that huge rant.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Little Shop of Horrors.
Ah, there you go.
That's
Don't you hate when you realize later that you prove yourself wrong?
Little Shop of Horrors is just a perfect movie. It's awesome. It's hilarious. It's got great music. Love it.
Yeah, mine's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
I realized afterwards, I was like, damn it. And then there was a part of me that was like, I'm just going to hate that movie now. Just so I'm right. But I can't hate that movie.
No,
that's one of my all-time favorite
yeah, that movie's
ever.
impossible to hate. Go back and watch Little Shop of Horrors. I think you'll be not the Jack Nicholson one, the Rick Moranis one.
Well, yeah, Rick Moranis makes
Just
everything
oh
better.
my god, the scene with Bill Murray. Ugh, the dentist.
Bill Murray also makes everything better.
Yeah. And there were so many people in that movie too. And John Candy and Steve Martin and just amazing.
Can we get Rick Moranis out of retirement?
I
Do we have that clout yet?
I don't know. I don't think so.
We're gonna.
I don't think
it.
anybody's getting him out of retirement. I think he's done. But
I'm doing coming up next year. I'm gonna do a Moranis month, and I'm gonna review all of Rick Moranis's films for Film Pulse.
nice.
That's a thing now.
Let me know what happens when you get to Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves.
Yes, Rick Moranis month.
All right, getting back to Anna Karina. I'm going to say 86 on that.
I'm gonna say 6. I'm gonna go 82.
All right. That's pretty much it for predictions. I don't know if there's anything coming out in limited release or anything, but kind of a bad. And that's on my birthday, too. So
Ooh,
Ryan had Silent Hill Revelation 3D. You have Skyfall.
you're damn right.
And I have freaking Twilight. Ugh.
Yeah, that's the thing that sort of bums me out. Is the movie theater is going to be ridiculous
Oh,
to
yeah.
go see a film.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
All right. DVD and Blu-ray releases next week. This is for Tuesday, November 13th, 2012. We have 2 Days in New York. That's the Chris Rock, Julie
Julie Delphi.
Delphi comedy. I haven't seen this. I heard it looked okay.
Yeah, I heard good things.
It looked funny. I've seen the trailers and stuff. I just didn't get around to seeing it. It was on demand for quite a while too. I don't know if it still is.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give that a rent probably.
Yeah, I would say check it out. Does she has something? Does she direct it or have something to do with the production of that movie too?
Yeah, she directed it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Then we have Brave. We gave this a 7.5 out of 10 on the site. I would say, probably worth a rent. It's pretty good. It's not the same caliber as a lot of Pixar movies, but it's still pretty good. We have Dark Horse, the Todd Solondz movie that, Kevin, I think you were okay on it. I didn't really like it that much.
Yeah, it was all right.
I would say if you're into Todd Solondz movies, maybe check it out. If
You're not, probably not a good idea.
no, probably not. You probably won't find it funny and just hate it. And we have Oliver Stone's Savages. We gave this a 2.5 out of 10 on the site.
Oh, gee. Ugh.
All I know is after this comes out on Tuesday, we never have to speak of it again.
Thank God.
And finally, we have The Watch. We gave this a 5 out of 10 on the site. And I would say rent this. It's worth a rent just to see Vince Vaughn discover the nesting dolls.
Yeah, I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah,
It was fun.
I enjoyed
I
it.
thought it was fun. I thought it was funny.
Do you have any other DVD and Blu-ray releases?
Oh, what is that? The Queen of Versailles?
Queen of Versailles, yeah, the documentary.
I want to see that. That looks very interesting.
Yeah, I want to see that too. I love documentaries that start out as one thing and turn into a completely different movie.
Yes.
I always find that
Plus,
interesting.
I just the ridiculousness of it all.
Yeah, it does look crazy, but
Just
yeah, I'll probably be watching that this week.
and then we got two criterions got going on here. Number one is something that I'm very excited about, which is Weekend by Godard, which is finally out on DVD. I've been wanting to see this movie forever, and now it's finally here, remastered Blu-ray. So I'm excited for that. And then there's also a box set, 3-disc, coming out, Trilogy of Life by Pasolini, who you know from Salo,
Mm-hmm.
the family classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is 3 films. Uh, you know, so that looks good. We got Arabian Nights, Canterbury Tales, and I don't know how the hell to pronounce the other one. The Cameron, I guess. Cameron?
I don't know.
Cameron. Sure.
Sure, let's go with that.
Nailed it.
All right.
But man, it's got ridiculous stuff in here too. Introductions, interviews, essays,
I was looking at the
documentaries.
I was at Best Buy yesterday, and I was looking at the Bond Blu-ray set that they just came out with, and it
Yeah.
has 120 hours of bonus features.
Lord have mercy.
120 hours of bonus features.
That is
Are
ridiculous.
you kidding me? Oh my god.
I like you get 3 Pasolini films, but there's also like 4 documentaries on this thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Ridiculous.
Love Criterion. All right, well, I think that wraps it up. For all the latest film news and reviews, visit us at filmpulse.net. We want to hear your feedback. Send us an email at feedback@filmpulse.net or give us a call on our voicemail line at 850-391-6071. Also, please take a minute to rate us on iTunes. We appreciate that very much. For filmpulse.net, my name is Adam,
And I'm Kevin.
and we will see you on Wednesday for Ryan Watches a Movie when we have him watch Vampires Suck.
This is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10. Feel the earth move and then hear my heart burst again. For this is the end.
Oh,
I want him
right.
to watch. I want him to watch whatchamacallit. What's that Shaq movie?
Kazam.